everyone, welcome to your Wise Wednesdays. Troyson Bassini here. So today I want to do a quick video on how to buy property under market value. There are a lot of people, particularly property experts in the sector, that claim they always buy properties under market value, and you've probably seen it throughout your own research, buying your own home or an investment. So today I want to break that down for you in layman's terms, what it is and how you can potentially implement some strategies to buy under market value. Okay, let's dive in. So let's just quickly start off by defining what is market value. So in layman's terms, all market value is what is a consumer out there willing to pay for a good or service? What is someone out there, in our context in terms of buying property, willing to pay for a house in a particular marketplace? What are they willing to pay? And that is all market value is, right? So let's start off with that. But in terms of some strategies in buying a property that sits under market value, the first thing you want to be aware of is what type of market conditions are you in? Is it a hot market? Is it a declining market? Is it a stagnant market? And that may determine whether or not you have the ability to potentially buy an asset that sits under market value. And we've certainly seen over the last 2 years, a lot of properties sell well above what might be perceived as, let's say, intrinsic value, or market value sell well over above that over the last 2 years during the COVID period, and when borrowing money anyway, was very easy with the extremely low interest rate. So you have to be mindful of what type of conditions or what type of market conditions are you entering into. But our agency, what we like to do is look at a particular market, not from a suburb point of view, not from a city point of view, not from a street point of view, but actually from a dwelling point of view. What type of market out there is after this particular type of dwelling that you are interested in? And that's how we like to determine what type of market you are playing in. The suburb might be busy as a whole, the particular pockets of the suburb might be busy, particular street, and then a particular house, but we want to really determine for that type of house that we're targeting, how much demand is out there in the marketplace. So you certainly want to start there before you dive in to the transaction, is what type of market you are entering into, and that's really gonna, be able to determine whether or not you have the ability to buy a property under market value. Because if you are in a heated market, 9 times out of 10, most of the agents and vendors are aware of what their property could sell for and know that there is pent-up demand. So 9 times out of 10, you may not be able to even buy that particular asset under market value. So that's number one. Be aware of the market conditions you are entering into. But in terms of strategies now, after you've determined that, the strategies that we find work best to find a property or buy a property that sits under market value is certainly, number one is relationships. So when you have an ongoing relationship with an agent, let's say a top selling agent in a particular suburb or area you're looking to buy, then they might present you with off-market and pre-market opportunities. And we have, because we actively buy in the marketplace and many agencies are aware that we are professional buyers, they present us with pre and off-market opportunities. So we actually then have the ability to be first and essentially be the ones to set the market value of a particular property, or even buy under what we believe is market value after looking at comparable sales. So having relationships with agents that give you pre and off-market opportunities may give you the ability to buy a property under market value, because if it does go to market and there are multiple bidders, in that scenario you have to put your best and final offer in, and 9 times out of 10 the property is going to sell for above list price. So you have to be mindful of that as well. But having relationships with agents, getting pre and off market opportunities are a good way to potentially buy a property that sits under market value. Number two is through negotiation, you have the ability to buy property that sits under market value. And by negotiation, I mean you have to really be accustomed or aware of what properties are transacting for in the marketplace and know what value looks like, or know what good value is and what you believe the market value to be through your own analysis. And that's your starting point then to then negotiate or reverse engineer where you believe the value of the property sits, and then try and negotiate and implement a strategy where you can get that house under what you've determined the market value to get. So if, let's say, a property might be on the market for 450, you've determined that it's worth 430. So in terms of your own market analysis, then you want to really start your negotiations from below 430 and have a strategy around how you could best do that. So through negotiation, you certainly have the ability to get a property that sits under market value. And the last thing, sometimes just luck, plain luck by default. You have the ability to potentially buy a property that sits under market value if you're an active buyer in the marketplace. So there are many properties that sell under market value all the time, distressed sales, mortgagee properties, situations where there is a conflict with the vendor. These are really good opportunities to potentially jag properties that sit under market value, but they also come with having that first point, which is relationships. But you can also potentially get a property that sits under market value by default, just by simply being an active buyer in the marketplace and are aware of what's going on and what's transacting, and an opportunity might hit your face that is a distressed sale, a mortgagee, or repossession. And these are situations where you might have the ability to buy under market value. So those are the three key ways that you could potentially buy something under market value, guys. But if you are a buyer out there and you're still unsure about how to implement some of those negotiation strategies, how to build relationships with agents, feel free to reach out to my office, have a preliminary chat, and we can go from there. That's your Wise Wednesday for today, guys. Thank you and bye for now.